You survived a relationship that trained you not to trust what you saw. Now you're dating again, and every reaction feels suspect. If your alarm goes off, are you recognizing danger or reliving it? Today, you'll use three moves: signal, check, choose. They'll help you hear the alarm without treating it as proof and protect yourself without waiting for certainty. You don't have to choose between blind trust in your gut and blind distrust of it. Treating every uncomfortable feeling as proof can turn dating into threat detection. Dismissing every feeling because trauma might have produced it or caused it can pull you back toward self abandonment. Your first feeling is information. It's not a command, a diagnosis, or proof about another person's character. So, signal, check, and choose is a protocol you can use for reflection. It's not a test, treatment, or safety guarantee. It won't identify a narcissist, an abuser, or a safe person. It'll help you stay connected to what you feel without surrendering your judgment to the feeling. Because after relational trauma, an alarm may arrive before an explanation. A pause feels loaded. A delayed reply feels like abandonment beginning. Confidence resembles domination. Affection resembles love bombing. Calm resembles concealment. It doesn't mean your perception's broken. Something may be happening now. An old pattern may also be searching the present for what happened before. So the first move is signal. With signal, ask, what did I feel and what specifically happened immediately before I felt it? What did I feel and what specifically happened before that caused that feeling? Name the feeling without arguing with it. This could be feelings like tightness, fear, confusion, urgency, revulsion, shame, the impulse to please, the impulse to leave. Then name the event in language a camera could have recorded. Here's what I mean by that. Imagine Morgan has a strong first date with Casey. Casey says, I'll message you tomorrow. The next evening arrives with no message. Morgan feels a familiar drop in his stomach and thinks Casey is fucking with me. The signal is fear. The observable event is a missed follow up. The interpretation may be right, partly right, or wrong. Keeping those parts separate doesn't invalidate Morgan's experience, it protects Morgan's ability to understand it. The book OLNE describes slowing down, honoring your no, separating feelings from the stories attached to them, and keeping promises to yourself as practices that build self trust. So, going back, signal says, something in me responded. It doesn't force you to say, therefore, I know everything about this person. Research gives us a narrow reason to respect the complexity. In one combat veteran study, the group with PTSD gave more negative interpretations of ambiguous situations. A systematic review found little support for enhanced threat detection, hypervigilance, or attention avoidance in PTSD, but more consistent evidence for sustained attention on threat. Neither study tested dating after narcissistic abuse, and neither can tell us whether one person's present alarm reflects past learning, current danger, or both. Your alarm isn't your enemy. It just isn't the whole picture. Sam Vaknin describes intuition partly as picking up signals and searching for structure, repetition, and rules. In Vaknin's account of emergent intuition, a sudden impression may contain earlier trial and error learning that can't consciously retrace. That makes intuitive experience worth hearing. You may notice a contradiction before you can name it. A request may carry pressure that your conscious mind hasn't organized yet. Your experience may have learned patterns your language needs another minute to catch. But experience alone doesn't guarantee accuracy. Daniel Kahneman and Gary Klein argue that skilled intuition needs learnable regularities and opportunities for useful feedback. Dating often gives incomplete, delayed, or ambiguous feedback. The feeling of confidence isn't a reliable test of whether an intuitive judgment is correct. Wagner also says intuition and intellect shouldn't be treated as enemies. Wagner recommends bringing both to the discrepancies you notice. Your gut may be early. That doesn't make it incomplete, or rather, that doesn't make it complete. It may have detected a cue without knowing yet what the cue means. The second move is check, ask, what can I observe and what information would strengthen or weaken my interpretation? Going back to our example, Morgan doesn't have to suppress the reaction or promote it into certainty. The current evidence is one event. Then, Casey writes, explains that a family emergency took over the day, apologizes for failing to send a short message, and asks whether Morgan still wants to talk. If Morgan chooses to keep talking, Casey follows through over the next few interactions. Now, it doesn't prove permanent safety, but it does weaken the first interpretation. This is really important because confirmation bias can lead people to seek or interpret evidence in ways that favor an existing belief. Asking what would weaken your interpretation, not only what would confirm it, widens the check. It doesn't guarantee objectivity. Interpretations and beliefs are constructions that can be revisited, including recognizing that a belief was wrong. Checking isn't giving someone the benefit of endless doubt. It isn't cross examining a date, searching a phone, setting traps, or collecting enough evidence to diagnose a stranger. It means letting behavior contribute to the picture. And behavior becomes useful when you describe it precisely. Ask whether words and actions line up. Ask what happens when plans change, when disappointment appears, or when you say no to something ordinary. You don't manufacture a test. If you choose to stay in contact, ordinary moments will show you more. You don't need to stay in contact to earn the right to leave. Pay special attention to response. A person can misunderstand you, forget something, speak clumsily, or make a selfish choice. The next response gives you more information. Can the person hear the impact without making your perception the problem? Can the person answer a clear question without punishing you for asking? Can the person acknowledge a mistake and behave differently afterward? Repair doesn't erase what happened, it adds evidence about capacity. An apology followed by the same disregard is different from an apology followed by changed behavior. A promise is information about intention. Follow through is information about capacity. The outcome tells you what the relationship actually asks you to live with. This is why one cue and a repeated pattern don't carry the same weight. One cancellation may be life happening. Repeated cancellations, defensive explanations, and contempt when you ask for reliability create a different picture entirely. You still can't see the person's entire inner world, but you now have more information about what participation with that person costs you. The book Owelani places knowledge of another person in communication, shared time, reliability, behavior, and respected boundaries. It also advises comparing words with actions and paying attention when violations repeat. A single awkward moment can become understandable in context. A repeated contradiction can become a pattern. A respectful response to your boundary gives you information. So does pressure, ridicule, punishment, or repeated disregard. So let's go to the third move. The third move is choose. With choose, ask, what step protects my choice and safety right now? What steps? You might pause before replying. You might ask one direct question. You might keep the next meeting public. You might slow contact. You might restate a boundary. You might decline another date. You might leave. You don't need more checking before saying no. You don't need a diagnosis before ending contact. You don't need to prove harmful intent before deciding that an interaction doesn't work for you. The next step can match the stakes without demanding that you predict the future. If the cue is low stakes and genuinely ambiguous, you may pause and ask one clear question. If a stated boundary is met with bargaining, guilt, or ridicule, you may step back without offering another test. If you feel unsafe, you may leave without explaining the whole process. A proportionate response doesn't always mean a small response. It means doing enough to protect yourself. And choosing is not only about ending contact. You may decide to continue while keeping your existing plans, support, privacy, and pace. You may notice that attraction is pushing you to cancel your life and correct course. You may also ask for reliability once, then watch whether that answer appears in behavior rather than just promises. Each choice says, I can stay connected to myself while I meet another person. The aim isn't to make the perfect move. The aim is to keep the next move yours. If later information changes the picture, you can change your choice. Revising a judgment isn't proof that you failed. It's what you do when reality changes. Going back to our example, suppose Morgan keeps seeing Casey. Weeks later, Casey gives conflicting accounts about an existing relationship. Morgan asks once for clarification. Casey avoids the question, attacks Morgan for asking, and then pressures Morgan to drop a previously stated sexual boundary. Now the alarm isn't floating alone. There are observable contradictions, a hostile response to a reasonable question, and pressure against a clear no. Morgan still can't know every hidden motive. Morgan doesn't need to. The choice can be, this is enough information for me to leave. Self-trust isn't the promise that you'll identify every dangerous person immediately. It's the promise that you won't abandon yourself when new information arrives. Self-trust sounds like this. I will listen when something in me reacts. I will separate what happened from what I fear it means. I will look for behavior, response, and repetition. I will allow new evidence to strengthen or weaken my interpretation. I will act before certainty I will act before certainty when my boundary or safety requires it. You are not trying to become impossible to deceive. That goal can turn every date into an investigation and every uncertainty into a personal failure. You're becoming someone who responds when information arrives. Maybe you misread a delayed message and revise your interpretation. That isn't self-betrayal. That's discernment. Maybe you notice three small contradictions. Ask a clear question and step back when the answer brings more confusion. That's you staying open without ignoring yourself. And if coercion, stalking, threats, violence, sexual coercion, retaliation, or credible danger are present, don't use this exercise to remain exposed while gathering evidence. Prioritize distance, confidential safety support, and immediate protection. You don't owe confrontation or clarification. So when your gut speaks, don't worship it, but don't silence it. Ask three things instead. Signal. What did I feel and what happened just before it? Check. What can I observe and what would strengthen or weaken my interpretation? Choose. What step protects my choice and safety now? Past learning, present input, or both may contribute to an alarm. None has to control your choice. You can listen, examine, and choose. That's what it means to trust the gut you built the hard way. Thanks for watching this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
I don't want the version who's frightening staying. I held you too close, like I could stop the changing. I don't want devotion built from locked doors.